Okay, so let's get this out of the way first. Oh my god, Fionna and Cake are back! Yay! Oh my god! With that said, I thought this episode was just okay.
Oh my god!
I was so excited when I saw them. When I saw them in the title card, I'm like, yay! And as the story starts, it's still the Ice King's fan story, and it's hilarious, and it goes in all these strange directions, and it's wild, and it's crazy. We see Dr. Prince, which is hilarious. And then Marceline comes in, which it's nice to see. You know, it's nice to see her come in.
You were just griping about them, too.
Yeah, no, it was so funny. I was just like, what's going on with Ice King and Marceline? And bam, they're in the next episode. And I love the idea. She's like, why don't you let someone else tell the story? I think that's a great idea. You know, and I like that he's reading it to all the princesses, you know, encaged, and then she lets them go, but they still want to listen to the story. You know, so she starts telling the story, and it's about her male counterpart, Marceline, which that's a hilarious name. And just about their quasi kind of relationship and them just sort of hanging out together. And at the end, he's like, you know, he's making it look like he's gonna die by the sun, and he's like, you know, admit it, you love me, didn't you? Even on my deathbed, you love me. And she pretty much said no, right? She's like, no, I don't, and you're crazy and stuff. And he's like, wow, you're the most real person I know. Hey, this is all fake and everything, you know. Can we hang out more? Yeah. My cheek meat! Which is hilarious. I love that line. And then, you know, Ice King is like, oh, that's crap. All of you get out. You know, you don't like my story. And he goes down and he just has, like, a friggin' shrine made out of, I think it was ice. Was that what it was? Yeah, made out of ice dedicated to him. And he's like, one day you will be real. I don't know how, but I'll make you real. And it's like,
what about the mountains and mountains of volumes of stories?
Yeah, and what was he on volume 5? That he would, the Fionna and Cake saga. Yeah. So on the one hand, that makes me say, oh, good, there's a lot more. You know, because I don't know what it is. There is something about parallel dimension. Oh, well, this is one of the reasons I love BioShock Infinite. I love parallel dimensions where it's like you just see these little differences, and even something as little as like just switching the genders around, or species in the case of Jake. You know, you just sort of go like, okay, what would this look like? Or what would this be like? What I want to see everything. And that's one of the reasons I like the first one so much, because I got the feeling they showed so much of the world while keeping the humor so good. And with this one, it's mostly like a relationship between Fionna and Marceline, and it's like, I don't know, for episode 2, I mean, I'm just like, oh, come on, go. Well, okay, in the party where you see, which does some good stuff. I love seeing Lumpy Space Prince with a, as you put, pedo stash. The voice doesn't change at all. BMO is pretty much the same, you know, like that kind of stuff is really funny. Tree trunks with the spoon.
I just love the visor.
Yeah,
the old
like that's the
visor.
Big distinction, yeah, and then the pig just has a bow. So, yeah, like I love seeing all that stuff. I wanted more of that.
That one worm with the boobs.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that one. The worms have boobs. I totally missed that.
There's one, like, multicolored glowworm looking
I remember that.
guy
I didn't know it
and
had boobs,
the boobies.
though.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the boobies.
The boobies.
So, I mean, it's totally fine. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of those things where...
Brett.
I'm too spoiled. No, you know, because the opening started off so good. I'll even argue the ending was like... I mean, I don't know, you just watch it and you're like... What the hell? With Ice King, I'm just like, that's kind of disturbing. The only other thing I find very interesting is because Marceline is telling the story where the male, her, you know, has a relationship with, you know, the female Fionna. It's kind of like, huh, like, I don't know what to read into that exactly,
is
you know.
She letting out her emotions towards Finn through this storytelling, or is it just to make a good story?
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm wondering. Because even in the story, they don't quite, you know, they don't get together. I mean, they're still friends, but they're like, it's kind of open-ended, like, you know, hey, is there anything there to see? Or maybe it'll grow, or whatever. So I thought it was fun. I mean, like, for an episode 2, I'd be like, oh, I like they do something a little different. It's not just a great big adventure, I guess. But I want to see a great big adventure. That's what I want to see in the second episode. But I guess I respect that. It's like, okay, just like a more relationship story, but it's like, I don't know. For the second one, like, I was loving the opening with the throwing the dolphin, and he's like, next time! I mean, and that's not a book, it's a bomb! I mean, it's like, I can quote so much from just that opening few seconds.
Because Ice King is the best.
Yeah, and Ice King coming out of the book.
Come on!
I mean, it's... I can quote so much from that first couple of seconds, and the rest of it, with the exception of cheek meat. You know, it's like, I have a hard time remembering. So, I mean... It's fun. I hope there's more. He's got so many volumes. I'd love to see more. I'd love to see different characters actually tell the story, if that's the route they're going. I'd love to see, like, we had Marceline do one. Then I'd love to see, like, I don't know, Tree Trunks or Jake or Finn or somebody else come in and tell their version of the Fionna and Cake story. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, the time Tree Trunks is done telling her story, the rate she talks, it'll be a 20-minute episode. Of her just shaking her ass.
So,
Mr. Tree Trunks is a very sexy man.
Mr. Tree Trunks would be like a Chippendale dancer or something.
Yes! Yes!
Just be a little bow tie and a visor.
Oh my god, I want to see that so hard!
He'd like sexually take the bow tie off with the trunk. Tell me this isn't hilarious! This is hilarious!
No. I want it now! I mean, or maybe later. Tree Trunks.
So,
that was really cool.
So, that's what I got, Jason. With all your reactions over there, you know you gotta go next.
No, I thought it was a fine episode. It did everything fine. I like that, you know, as little of a part that Neil Patrick Harris had in this one, he still came back to do it. I like that everyone came back to redo those roles. Like, it's nice to see these people enjoy doing the show well enough that they're willing to come back. I did love the whole throwing the knife around, cutting his hair, and he's like, oh, you almost, what was it, cut my dome piece?
Yeah.
And then it's starting, what's up there? Oh, it's raining. And he's like, oh, I'm not going up there, it's raining.
Yeah, she's carrying him with the
umbrella. That was cool.
I did like that little Bubblegum and Marceline gumball still kind of needing to bow down before the other in a sense. I really liked that. Which again, to me, is Marceline putting her feelings into this storytelling, or is it just, well, this is the natural progression of how things would happen? I don't know. I think that she's probably putting a little bit of her emotions into it. I did love them when they were singing. For a 14-year-old girl, she looks really good. Remember when she pulled off the top and her hair came down? Oh, you're talking about Finn in front of the mirror going, oh yeah, you look sexy! No, I'm saying...
that was creepy too, I like to point out.
Oh, no, like when Finn first took off his hood and he's like, has the glowing hair and he's like, ah, with the glowing eyes. That's kind of how this was. And it was very nicely done. It fell down and it was very pretty looking.
I will say, it definitely...
That's what I'm saying.
She looked beautiful.
I said it that way for a reason.
I will say, the long hair definitely looks better on her than it does on Finn.
Oh, what's wrong with that? You don't like us with long hair?
No, I just said it looks better on her. So, actually, something I noticed about this one, I think this might be the very first episode where there is literally no Finn and Jake. I mean, at all. You got Fionna and Cake, but even in the original Fionna and Cake, they show up at the end. This is none.
No, we had one more before this. I'm trying to remember it.
Oh, the Friendship is Magic one. That's right. That weird episode.
Yeah, that was the one.
Weird.
With Twinkle Sprinkle.
Yeah, Twinkle Sprinkle. Yeah, still weird how that never tied into the continuity.
Well,
but,
just
Still
wait.
looking for a
Just
Twinkle
wait.
Sprinkle
okay,
shirt.
so maybe it will. Okay.
Maybe. No, I liked it. It was fun. Like I said, when her hat came off, it was very beautifully drawn. That's why I was making the joke, and I got the appropriate reaction. Apparently.
You're so funny.
Now, what I found interesting was when they're messing around while Cake is dancing and singing. She tries to trip him and then elbows him, and then he kicks her straight in the face. And I know there's people out there that have issue with violence towards girls in something like this. And it's one of those, for me, it's like, well, I don't consider that straight up violence. It's just kind of like they were messing around because that's kind of what they do. Because right after that, Cake runs over and he knocks her out of the way.
Which she, yeah.
What? No, Marceline knocks him out.
Oh,
sorry, I thought you
said, okay, yeah.
Into the bushes.
And it's like, okay, well, maybe that's a little bit more aggressive, you know. But if you notice when they're running away, she's Fiona's holding Cake, and he's like, "Oh, come on, I was only messing around." Look at Cake's face. She smiles, opens up one eye, and is like, kind of like, "I totally got you, sucker."
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's very much like, you know, like anyway, it's
punch.
I mean, it seemed very much like, you know, roughhousing, and you know, and they're the heroes. They're gonna go in like they put their lives on the line and fight things and stuff. So it's like they're probably used to, you know, a few you know punches here and there.
Remember,
so.
Finn is a human callus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that term.
So I liked the episode.
I liked it.
No,
I liked it. It's still good, you know. It's just like for an episode 2, I can see it's an episode 3, but again, I've gotten too selfish. I've gotten way too selfish. I mean, like, I'm just like, whenever this stuff is going on, I'm just like, we only got 11 minutes, man. Come on, get to the cool stuff.
Oh my god!
I want to see what the other characters look like. Come on. It's like, I don't know. I'm very selfish that way.
Yikes! You did.
That was uncalled for.
Something about awesome.
Yeah.
This was going so awesome.
This was going so awesome.
Talk about Marshall Lee, because you're gonna...
that voice, the guy that does Marshall Lee's voice
David
is
Glover? No. Clover?
fantastic.
Childish Gambino.
I don't know, his voice
That's
is
how
fantastic.
I know him.
Is it just the voice, or is it the character, too, that... You know,
I mean, I feel like Marshall Lee's character here is kind of it reminds me a lot more of when Marceline first kind of came on to the show and doing kind of the same things that Marcy was doing right at the beginning. So I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was kind of neat, kind of cool.
I think he's more or less asking, is it the bad boy image that helps it out?
Just in general, just what's...
No,
I mean, because...
just the voice. I just have a thing for voices.
You're full of it.
His voice.
Well, no, I was going to say, because if... It sounded like you guys were talking, I mean, I'm guessing, is Marshall Lee sort of like a big fan crush among, like, girls and stuff, or not really?
Yes and no, it depends.
Well,
I mean,
says, yeah.
Yeah. The con we were at, there was a fair number of both Marshall Lees and Marcelines. Yeah. I think both of them are a fan favorite overall. So, I mean, no, Jordan, you have a thing for bad boys. You know?
Most women have a thing for bad boys, to be fair.
Your K-dramas.
I have a thing for flower.
I was gonna say, that's not bad boys, that's flower boys.
No. See, the thing you have to understand with K-dramas is, the main lead, the main male...
I think we're in the wrong vlog.
...are assholes. No, they treat the women like complete and utter garbage. And I mean, like, literally leaving them out in the rain, telling them they're ugly. Like,
wow.
Exactly. So they are like bad boys. And Jory likes them, so...
That's not even a bad boy, it just sounds like a dick.
You should watch some Korean dramas.
No!
No! You should watch.
No!
You'll change your mind. This one pretends he doesn't like them, but he does.
You know what? I want to go on a dungeon crawl.
I think you should.
I'll say one last thing, by the way. We have a friend, you've seen him into Bully Flea and other stuff, Jim Trokin.
Yes.
Whenever I see it, because he was Marshall Lee for Halloween once. And that's all I see when I watch this episode. I'm just like, well, there's Jim. I mean, it's like no difference whatsoever. I'm just like, I'm looking at Jim Trokin right now. So, yeah, he was Prick into Bully Flea, and he was the stoner in the opening of Suburban Night. So he's been in a few things. And, yeah, it's probably like... The guy's seen a few Marshall Lees too, and that's like the best Marshall Lee.
We have a one friend, Rick with a W, and he does a really good. I know it's a poor Rick. We call him poor Rick. Anyway, he does a really excellent Marshall Lee.
I love you, slow bro.
Hells yes.
Get back to your dungeon crawl.
He's pretty great, and also, yeah.
So I guess we have to close up the episode.
Yeah,
now.
that's kind of weird and also awkward.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, why don't you be me,
Oh.
you be the female me, I'll be the male you.
Rah, 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 rah.
I like